Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are doing a question and answer because you guys have questions, and I don't necessarily know if I have the answers, but I'm sure gonna try. Um, you guys submitted questions on Instagram this time. Some of them are wildly inappropriate, and I will not be answering them. If you're looking for that age-old question of top or bottom, I'm not answering that. That was the most asked question. No, go home, get a life. Moving on. First one, backpack versus messenger bag. I am definitely a backpack person. I'm not cool enough to have a messenger bag or like one of those like man purses or whatever they call them, those like strap ones. I'm not that cool. When are you coming to Toronto? Actually, probably soon. Do I believe in long distance relationships? Yes, but I don't believe they they can't be long distance forever. Like one of you has to like move closer, or both of you have to move closer. Like it doesn't just work if it's just forever going to be long distance. How tall are you? With a hat on, of course. I am 6'1". I don't know why that makes me laugh, but anyway, moving on. What is your favorite location you have ever visited? That is a really difficult question. There are some places in England that I think are big favorites of mine. My family has like a village church where our ancestors are all buried, and I really like being there. I just feel very connected to that place. It's like 500 years of history going back, and like all of my grandparents and great grandparents and all of them, they're all buried there. And I don't know, I really like it there. That's the first thing I think of when somebody says like, what's your favorite place? But I've had some really amazing times on Vancouver Island. That's a big favorite place of mine. Yeah, so yeah, those are my two answers. What do I do for a living? I am a property manager. I work on the family farm, and I do social media. I do this whole thing basically as a little bit of a kind of career thing. When did you know you were gay? How did your family respond? So I've talked about this on my coming out video where I talk in depth about my coming out story and everything. But the short summary is I really didn't know I was gay until I was like 19 years old. And my family was really good with it. They had no problems with it. They loved me. They were like, this doesn't change anything. I made a big point of saying like, it doesn't change who I am. I'm not going to change my personality just because I'm gay. So yeah, that's the short version of that. A bunch of you wanted to know if I'm single. Yes. And a huge amount of you also wanted to know how and why I'm single. I haven't met the right person yet. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm not actively dating and like trying to date and that kind of thing. Yeah, those are probably the biggest reasons. But a lot of you had that question, which is very okay and very fair. So, what are my dogs' names and how much do I love them? So I have two dogs, Julia and Lily. Julia is a Husky Malamute. Lily is a Italian sheepdog mixed with a bit of Hungarian sheepdog. And I love them so much. I actually woke up this morning and Lily was like cuddled right up against me, and that was very cute. They have very distinct personalities. Lily is very cuddly, cozy, and loves comfort. She's a little hedonist. And Julia is very much an independent woman who don't need nobody. And she does her own thing. But we love her too. We love her just as much. What is the best piece of advice you have been given? Immediately when I read that, I thought of this quote from Taoism, which is it's not like directly from Taoism, but it's in the light of Taoism. And the piece of advice I always go back to is, it isn't the water around the boat that sinks it, it's the water that gets let in. And I really interpret that as like, it's not all the negativity and the difficulty and the hardship in the world that hurts you. It's the stuff that you let inside of you. And so if you can just flow through life without letting those things get inside of you, you can live a really happy life. So that's the best piece of advice. What's it like in the countryside? It's very chill. It's very quiet most of the time. Um, yeah, it's very. You have to be independently minded. You can't get food delivered. You can't get all this stuff. All the creature comforts of the city, they don't exist out here. You're not necessarily going to get the absolute best Wi-Fi or the best connection. It can be difficult to like live really far away from your friends or your family, but I really wouldn't live anywhere else at this point in my life. I really enjoy the country life, the laid backness of it. I like being independent and like self-sufficient as much as I can be. So I really love it. So yeah. Um, if you could successfully tame and keep one wild animal as a pet, what would you choose? Amazing question. If I could tame one wild animal and keep it as a pet, man, honestly, like, I know it's like not very creative or anything, but something like a wolf would be pretty cool. Or like a bear. That would be like pretty cool to have a friend. Like my great uncle had a pet bear. Not like a pet bear, but like a bear that like lived around his acreage, and he would like pick berries and the bear would be right beside, and it was just like very chill. So I think that'd be cool. So I'm gonna go with a bear. Because a wolf is basically just a dog. So I'll go with bear. That'd be cool. Would you date an older guy? Yeah, I have no issue with dating older guys. Like if you are an adult, I see no issue in dating. Like you know what I mean? Like age, as long as everybody's an adult, age really doesn't affect me. I'm much more interested in like maturity level, because like I have met 20-year-olds that are incredibly mature and worldly, and they're old souls, and they really like resonate with life, and they're very wise. And I have met 85-year-olds who are stubborn and immature and foolish and impossible to deal with. So like I really think it's about the character of the human, not the age of the human. Like I don't care how many times around you've gone around the sun. That doesn't affect it. What has you excited? I'm excited for Halloween right now. I'm going to a giant Halloween party this year. Very excited for that. It'll be cool. It'll be fun. I will take pictures. I'm excited for that. What Canadian province have you not yet visited? I have never visited Toronto, Quebec, no, not Toronto, Ontario, Quebec, or Manitoba. Those are the three provinces, and like Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick. But I'd like to visit Ontario and Quebec. Those are the two that I'd like to visit soon. As a gay man, what is the most and least favorite thing about living in the country? Good question. So, as a gay guy, living in the country, the best part about living in the country as a gay guy is you're really like separated from the drama of being gay. Because like in Alberta, there are a few communities of gay people, and most of them are in Edmonton or Calgary, the two biggest cities in Alberta. And we all know each other. Basically, like every gay guy in Alberta kind of has an idea of each other. And I like living out in the country because I don't get pulled into any of the drama. Like there are like all these kinds of drama, like dramatic things. Like there are like people cheat on each other, people gossip, like all kinds of things happen. And I am not involved in any of it because I don't live in those cities, because I'm never there when the drama happens. So I love that. As a gay man, I love not being connected to the drama, not having to worry about that stuff. It's great. The least favorite thing is that it is very hard to date. It is very hard to... So basically, like, anybody that I want to date doesn't take me seriously because I live so far away. Like, they'll be like, oh, like, he's attractive, but he lives so far away, so, like, it's really gonna go nowhere. And so, like, nobody really takes me seriously in the dating world because I live so far away, so they just discount me. They're just like, he lives a million miles away, so it doesn't matter. That's the most frustrating. But that's a really good question. What advice would you give to someone who is finally exploring being gay? First of all, congratulations. Take your time. don't feel pressure that you have to come out right away. Come out to people you feel safe coming out to. If you're a fully independent human being who isn't reliant on like a guardian or a parent or something, then you basically get to choose who gets to know and when they get to know. But I would say like don't rush, just enjoy it. Do not feel like you have to like enjoy stereotypical gay things. Like I don't like Drag Race. I'm sorry, I've tried to watch it. I don't like it. And a lot of people really feel like I should like it just because I am a part of the community. And no. So never feel like you have to deal with that ever. So there you go. How was my first ever date with a guy? It was really bad. It was not a good date. We went for coffee and we just chatted, and I kind of knew immediately when I met this guy that he was not my type. He wasn't really like my thing. He was just the first gay guy that I'd ever like talked to. And he was like, "You want to go on a date?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so we chatted a bit, and by the end of the date, he asked if he could kiss me, and I said, "I would rather you don't." And that kind of ended that. It really wasn't for me. I was so new to the whole thing. Like I was so green. So I was like super, super nervous. And like, yeah, I was just, no. Am I coming to New York? Maybe not this year, but I'm hoping to come next year, actually. We will see. Travel's crazy. My schedule is ridiculous. So I would like to, though. I'm not answering that. How's life going? Anything new? I will answer that, of course. Life is honestly going good. Like genuinely, I'm not just trying to like paint a facade of me doing really well or anything. Like I'm genuinely very happy where I'm at right now. My friends and family are amazing. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm just getting over a bit of a cold, so excuse my throat or my voice sounding a bit froggy. But genuinely, I'm very happy with life. Through September, I was feeling a little bit lonely, like kind of like I wanted to be in a relationship, but I kind of got over that, and I'm just very happy being myself and doing my own thing. And I realized that like a relationship will happen when it happens, and I want it to happen with somebody who is down to earth and ready for a relationship, and wants to spend life together. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Who is your favorite author? Sorry, anytime I do that, I'm reading a question, I'm like, I'm not answering that. Who is my favorite author? My favorite author, I'm gonna have two answers. So my favorite author is probably Lao Tzu, who wrote the Tao Te Ching. Ancient Chinese philosophy. You can Google it. I've done videos on it. I think if he was a real person, because it was like 2,000, 3,000 years ago, if he was a real person, he was probably the greatest author on the planet, because that whole philosophy really, really impacts me and is very positive in my life. My favorite contemporary author, or just author in general, that's a bit harder. I really like Jane Austen. I find her work really relatable. Jane Austen, for you guys, like if you've never read like Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility, it's essentially just her, talking about how ridiculous dating is and how courting people and like dating culture has always been ridiculous and difficult. And you like lie awake at night thinking like, oh my gosh, like does he like me? Like I don't know. And so like I read her and I was like, man, she's so relatable. I really like Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. A lot of people come for me for that because she's like considered a very right-wing author. But I think Atlas Shrugged is one of the greatest books on the planet, and I really like it. So I'm sorry if you thought that I was like a closet communist or something. Like I'm not. I'm not a libertarian either, but I just really like that book, and it's really interesting. And then, I don't know, I really like George R. R. Martin, Suzanne Collins, so Game of Thrones, The Hunger Games, both of those. Like, The Hunger Games is probably my favorite book series, because it was sort of the one that made me fall in love with reading. And Game of Thrones, I love the way it's written. So yeah. Who is my best friend? I have several best friends that I would literally do anything for and I love. So that's kind of hard to say. Um, oh my goodness. Who is your favorite musical artist and song? My favorite musical artist is Taylor Swift. My favorite song of all time is New Romantics. Many of you know this already, but yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Gabrielle Aplin recently, and she's amazing. So she's my like up and coming artist currently. What is my ideal type? I assume you're talking about dating. If we're gonna be like super honest, and I'm gonna like give you just like a very basic stereotype of the kind of guy I'm into, I really like tall, dark, and handsome, dark hair, a dude with like a crooked smile or something, very quiet, good sense of humor, very laid back personality. Um, yeah, that's like the stereotype, but I have dated guys of every kind. I've dated girls of a few kinds. Um, and so yeah, I really do fall in love with people's personalities, and then after that, like it doesn't matter. Like if I fall for your personality, it's game over for me. Probably for you too. But how's life in Canada? It's very expensive. I know like everybody's talking right now about Canada and how bloody expensive it is, and it really is. I live on a small farm in the middle of nowhere, and it's still very expensive to do everything and to pay for everything. Um, so like you don't have to just live in a city to find it ridiculous. But I will say I love the freedom of Canada. I love that so many people can get along and be respectful of each other regardless of your religion, your gender, your sexuality, like everything. And so I'm really appreciative of that. I think Canadians on the whole are a pretty polite, respectable society. We all get along very well. There's very little like disagreement, I feel like, politically. It's not like Republicans and Democrats in the United States. I don't know, it's pretty chill. I like our medical system. There's like obviously problems with it, but um, I like that, if I have a medical emergency, it's taken care of and I don't have to like, sell a kidney or something. So, someone literally, okay, so like I said, like there are so many questions about like, are you a top? Are you a bottom? Someone's question is like, I bet everybody's asking which bunk you're in. Yep, like bunk beds, you get it, like top or bottom. Um, that is my favorite comment so far. Yeah. Where do I live? I live in southern Alberta, basically, on a little farm. Yeah. Has a girl ever made me doubt if I was gay or not? So, I I identify as gay in the terms of like I identify as being queer and like LGBT and all that stuff. I've said before like I feel like I'm bisexual. I feel like I'm gay. I'm definitely more attracted to the masculine elements of stuff. But like I said, I really do fall for people's personality. Like I've dated girls. I've fallen in love with girls. Like I've like and it really just comes down to personality. But on the whole, there are it's more of that masculine side. So like yeah. So yeah, I've definitely dated girls and then thought, "Oh, maybe I'm just straight or maybe I'm bisexual or something." So yeah, I have had that put in doubt. Did I always want to be an influencer? No, no. I wanted to be a lawyer for the longest time, and I thought I was going to be a lawyer. And then I was like, ooh, I don't know if I really like that. And so then I studied anthropology and I thought I was going to be an anthropologist. And who knows, I still might. I'm still very interested in culture and language and all of that stuff. But no, the influencer thing kind of happened very slowly and gradually. And I just sort of adopted many of the traits and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's basically what happened there. How did I become so well groomed so young? Oh, grounded. Sorry, not groomed. I was like, hmm? How did I become so well grounded? Honestly, that's a huge compliment to, first of all, call me grounded and to think that I'm grounded. I really appreciate that and thank you. I really think it goes back to like Taoism, and just like I understand how ridiculous life is, and how the idea that I'm talking to you through a camera, um like it's just ridiculous that some person created a camera, and like that technology exists, and that I'm able to post this video on YouTube. You guys can like watch this and write comments and tell me what you think, and like put in your own uh, interests, and share your story with me. And like we're all just apes. Like we all evolved from some creature that evolved millions of years ago, and we have this entirely complex society on this little rock floating through space. And like I really appreciate that, and I think anybody who appreciates how incredibly unlikely it is that we exist can't help but just being really grounded and humble. Like I realize like I am not the center of the universe. Earth is not the center of the universe. Our galaxy isn't the center of the universe. Like we are just this speck of dust, and we get to observe the world for this like infinitely small piece of time. And so like all of that just like makes me chill a little bit, you know? Like I'm such an insignificant part of the universe, but I'm so grateful to be here. And so I don't know, I think that kind of contributes to that. Um, yeah. So I don't know, but really good question, and thank you. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah. Oof. Yikes. Um, Am I seeing anyone? No, not currently. I am currently single. My workout routine, I could do like a very more in-depth thing. I'm actually getting into calisthenics. So, yeah, I might do something like that. Will I keep the beard growing? Oof, no. I like shave every 2 weeks or something. I just let it grow and then I shave. So it grows very quickly. But yeah. Okay, last one. Pumpkin or pecan pie? I love both, but pecan pie, hands down, is probably my favorite. Um, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for submitting questions. I feel bad there are many, many, many questions that I was unable to get to, but there's always next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions you would like me to answer, leave them down below, because the next time I do this, it'll be questions from down here as well. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you focus on yourself and you're able to do things for yourself that make you happy and feel grounded and successful. And as always, guys, I will talk to you in the next video.